It says there in James 4 chapter 6 verse. But he giveth more grace, whereunto he saith, God resisteth the proud, but giveth grace to the humble. Submit yourselves therefore to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw nigh to God, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. Be afflicted, and mourn, and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning, and your joy to heaviness. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up. Now, let's kind of break all this down, because there's a lot of meat right here, and there's a lot of things that people say, well, that's kind of a lot. What is it exactly saying? And what happens a lot of times is there's so much that's written in this Bible. And people try to discourage you with, oh, there's just too much words we don't understand. If you break things down little by little, you'll get to understanding it. The Bible doesn't say, read the Bible once and you're going to get everything out of it. The Bible's such a beautiful written piece that you can be 15 years old or you can be 115 years old and you can still read it and get something out of it. There's things that you read all the time. I never knew the Bible said that or it was worded like that. That's what's so great and beautiful thing about this Bible. But let's start with the 6th verse. But he giveth more grace, whereunto he saith, God resisteth the proud, but giveth unto the humble. Now, how many times are you willing to help somebody who's humble or really down in their dumps? You're ready to help somebody who's in need. But yeah, you got somebody who's just boastful and says, here, I need to borrow money. You know you get it back. I got money all the time. You kind of think, well, that's kind of an arrogant, attitude. Or if you're going to go help somebody and says, yeah, I'm glad you come over. There was 100 other people that was ready to join in, help me out, help my yard out, but I'm glad you come over anyway. You kind of think, well, that's kind of a jerk. I don't want to help nobody out like that. But the people who are really thankful for whatever you helped them with, that really thought you thought so much of them that you come and took your time and helped them, they really appreciative. Those are the ones that you like. And that's what the Lord's telling us. We can't be so high and mighty that we want to receive blessings. All we want to do is just basically pick from the blessing tree from the Lord, but we don't ever want to do anything or give thanks about it. Have you ever seen somebody, a kid, you give them a present? You sit there in the store for hours trying to find the perfect present for them. You get it for them and you just know they're going to love it. And they get it, open it up, and they're like, thanks, and throw it over to the side and get another present. You think, you little brat. I spent a lot of time for that. And that was your appreciation. But how about God? How many times has he's given us things and we've been unappreciative of it? We ask for blessings, but are we really ready to receive the blessing? Are we really going to be mature enough with it to make it work? Is he going to give us the blessing over somebody else? The Lord's saying he loves the humble, the people who are just a regular person who is just thankful for everything and wants to be lifted up, knows that they are not perfect, but know that they need help, that they struggle. Those are the people he's willing to help. And going into the 7th verse, it says, submit yourselves therefore to God. So it's telling us, give our life over him, submit ourselves. We've all submitted something over to somebody. We done it and give it over. That's what our life should be, is giving it over to God. He's telling us, submit yourselves to us. And what does it say the rest of it? Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. That's what we all worry about, the devil. How do I get rid of the devil? Resist him. Give a little bit of resistance to it. Don't just say, oh, here's the devil. Here he comes. We've all had the bullies in school. We've all seen them where they want to steal your money. They want to come up there and say, hey, I need a pencil. Appreciate it. Hoping you would say something to them. And it gets to be the bully is so much on you, all you got to do is walk up and say, oh, here's my pencil. Here's my lunch money. They don't even have to say anything. They're going to give it to you. They're such a bully that you're ready to give it over because you don't want to get hurt by them. But yet you're still hurting. You tell your parents you need extra pencils. Why? You don't want to tell them you're getting bullied. You just want to say, I lost my pencil. We get bullied by the devil constantly. Instead of that bully, if you step up and say, I'm not giving you this pencil no more, you're going to have to take it from me. After a while, he's going to get tired of getting conflict with you. He doesn't want that. He wants you to submit over his stuff. Your stuff to him. And that's what the Bible's telling us about the devil. Submit ourselves to God, but resist the devil. He will flee from you. He wants easiness. He wants stuff that he feels comfortable with. But are we giving him that place? Are we giving him resistance? Because he doesn't have time for us to fight with resistance. He can find other people that's not. It's telling us to draw closer to God. When it says 8th verse, draw nigh to God. Nigh means closer. Draw close to God. If we think, well, God's so far out of my life, I don't even know the last time I prayed. I don't know the last time I opened my Bible. I don't know the last time I've talked to somebody about the Bible. I don't know the last time I've been to church. We don't know. Are we saying that God left us? A lot of people have that mentality. But it's us that have left God. It says draw close to him and he'll be close to you. Instead of I want to do the things I want to do and be close to me. That's the world telling you to do that. The world tells you, don't try to fix yourself. Be the person you are. If somebody really loves you or really was a God, they'll come for you. How many times do you hear the people say that there is not a God? What kind of God would send you to this world, create you, but send you to hell? How many times have you ever heard somebody say that? It's not God sending us to hell. It's us leaving God and sending our own selves to hell. That's the problem. We got to see who the responsible person is. It's us. Take responsibility in your life. Stop blaming other people for the problems that you have. Be a grown-up, wear your big boy or your big girl pants, and go on about your business and live the life you're supposed to. Stop blaming everyone else for what you don't have. Instead, take control of your life. Be the person, and that way when you know you stand at Judgment Day before the Lord, that you are faithful. Stand there and know that you know those words coming, enter in, my good and faithful servant. God's not sending us to hell. We've done it because we drew away from God. When we used to say, there was a time when I would not say these words. There was a time when I wouldn't think this way. There was a time when I used to be strong. What happened? It wasn't God that changed. It was us that got so comfortable in our own life, we forgot about God. That we realized we got plans for dinner. We got plans to be with friends. We got plans to work extra hours. We got plans for vacations. We forget about God. We forget about study time, prayer time, church time. We don't have that anymore. But there was a time that was on our forefront of our mind, but we allowed other things to occupy it. A lot of times we don't even know what we did with our Bibles through the week, have we? We misplaced them. But I bet you one thing we haven't misplaced was our phones. It's funny at work. People come there all the time and say, I need a hard hat. I need safety glasses. I need a tool. I can't find mine. But they have that phone every day. You're going to take care of the things that you really want to keep up with. We all have a responsibility. How many times have we gone through and said, have you seen my Bible? I'm guilty of that. I go through all the time and ask Sister Kathy, have you seen my Bible? I don't even remember where I put it. But my phone's in my pocket at all times. That's the thing. We want to take care of the things we are passionate about, aren't we? It's time to get passionate with the Lord. But the 10th verse where it says, humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up. If you're already high and mighty, how in the world is he going to lift you up if you think so much of yourself? He wants the person who can admit they done wrong. They need to do better. I need to do better. Church isn't a museum of the saints. It's a hospital for sinners. There's not a single one of us here that doesn't need help from our brothers and sisters. Doesn't need a prayer. Doesn't need a pat on the back of encouragement. Say, you're doing okay. Brother, you can make this. Sister, it'll be all right. We all need that. We all need to do better. Anybody here that thinks we should just be put on the wall and be the employee of the century for the Lord, we all got issues. If that's our mentality. There's not a single one of us that doesn't need to do a little better in something. 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. Let's read here. First Corinthians 10, verse 13. And And it says there hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able, but will within the temptation also make a way to escape, that you may be able to bear it. In other words, let's kind of wrap this up at what this verse is saying. There's not going to be any temptation that's brought to you that's not uncommon. That's just particular. You're a 1 in a million case. That has happened to each and every one of us. It may be packaged a little different. It may looks a little different. But it's the same. You're going through the same problems that everybody else has. You went through the same problems your parents went through, that their parents have went through, and throughout generations. It may be a little different, but it's still the same thing. And it's telling us, not only that, the Lord's not going to allow temptation to be upon us. That's one thing we get and say, oh, God's tempting me today. No, he's not. He allows it. But he doesn't allow enough where he knows each and every one of us. He knows us, what our limits are, what we're capable of. A lot of us, we feel like we're at that breaking point that I can't take anymore. But it's not until we showed that we can, that if he didn't allow it, we would not know how strong we really are. And he's going to allow that to happen. But he's not going to make it where it breaks you. And it also says, what you see the rest of it where it says, he gives you a way out. We don't even know it's there a lot of times. We know that every temptation comes, we think, oh, there's nothing I can do about it. There is, but a lot of times, we don't like the door. We don't like door number 2. We see the temptation here, we see the escape. But a lot of times we know what the answer is, we just don't like it. But that's when we got to look at, am I worried about my soul salvation? Or am I worried about what I may lose? We go all through temptations. We all go through struggles. And it's going to be that way till the end of times. Things may get worse for other people. Things may have a different situation. Yeah, you may look at it through somebody's and says, wow, they're really tempted. Wow, they really got a lot of problems. They got a lot more than I have. If that's the case, be thankful for that. There will be a time that comes when you may be in that same boat. But there's always a way out. Are we ready for it? Do we want to see what the problem is? Are we ready to address the problem? But he's not going to allow temptations we can't handle. 2 Peter, turn me back to 2 Peter, 2nd chapter. Turn back to 2 Peter, 2nd chapter, verse 9. Give everybody a second there. Second Peter 2 and 9. And it says there, the Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. It says there, the Lord knows how to deliver the godly out of their situations. So we know that we're being tempted. We know that our things aren't going right for us. We know that the Lord is going to take care of us. He already said he's not going to put so much on us that we're not going to be able to see ourselves through. And he's telling us here, he knows how to deliver us. And in the other verse we read said he's giving us a door out. He's giving us a way out. He knows how we can get out of this situation. And then what does it say there? The rest of it in the ninth verse, the rest at the end, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. Now, a lot of us, we love swift justice, don't we? When we see that somebody has hurt a small child, we see that somebody has taken the life of somebody else. When we see that somebody has really hurt us, we want instant action right then and there. Somebody breaks into our house and steals our things. First thing we say is, go find them right here. I want them in jail. I don't want to ever see the light of day. Somebody hurts a loved one. Oh, I hope that they do something. I hope they bury the prison on top of them. We want swift justice there because we're hurt. When we're hurt, we want instant justice, do we? But we have a God that doesn't think like us. He treats us like he would everybody else like he would us. If we do something wrong, he's going to give them a time to find out what they've done wrong and to try to be repentant of that so they can reach heaven. He doesn't want to just strike vengeance right then and there. No, like all of us, he's patient. Well, what I mean by all of us, he's patient with us. How many times we've done something that could be guilty of hellfire, but he was patient enough to see us through it. He saw us through